This Lyriq SUV, tell us all about it. You're a car guy. I know you love these cars.
I do. We have we're redoing and remaking and giving our electric vehicles the highest technical attention as we transform the company. And Cadillac is at the very tip of that spear. So the first Cadillac that we're launching here is the Lyriq, which is just a beautiful car. We showed it for the first time in production form, which I have to say, I'm very proud of our teams, where we really have a production vehicle that is a rolling sculpture and very, very close to the concept car in almost every way. So we're very excited. It's our new EV being built in Spring Hill, Tennessee, as we go to convert that plant. And then also we announced over the last couple of weeks that we're building a brand new battery factory there, our second battery factory after Lordstown, Ohio, in Spring Hill, right next to that plant. So it's a JV with our partner LG, and it's really a great partnership for manufacturing. But we've spent a lot of time over the last 3 years developing our battery chemistries into an Ultium platform, which will give us over 300 miles of range on the Lyriq and about 340 horsepower. And it's a 12 module pack. 100 kilowatts, and we've got some great DC fast charging. The list goes on and on. But from a styling and design standpoint, we have now a 33-inch beautiful screen in the car, and we're just very excited. This is really the first Cadillac to use the Ultium platform, so we're very excited.
So Mark, you mentioned a couple of things in passing that I think bear note, which is it looks a lot like the concept car. That doesn't always happen in this business, number one. Number two, it's at least 9 months early, isn't it? How'd you get it into production so fast?
Well, yeah, those are great points, David, of course. And, if you look at the concept car and the production car, again, history is littered with great concept cars that never either make it to production, or they're so far away from what the concept vehicle was that people are very disappointed. This actually has some great enhancements in the tail lamp area over the concept car, in the C-pillar, but also, I think it's a delivery of the promise of what we said we were going to do with Cadillac, the Ultium platform, and our electric vehicles. So that's the first point. And we did. We brought it ahead 9 months, and we were able to do that because we're changing our vehicle development process. And the first vehicle that we are doing that with is the Hummer EV, which will be built in Factory Zero in Detroit. And that program is slightly ahead of the Lyriq. So everything we learned off of the Hummer EV in terms of our virtual tools, our simulation, our computer aided engineering, all the things we're able to do fast with very high quality were validated on the Hummer, and now we put into the development of the Lyriq, and we're able to bring it ahead 9 months.
So Mark, put this in a larger context for General Motors in your move to electric vehicles. You've set some pretty high bars for yourself about really moving over to electric vehicles. You and Mary Barra had decided from the beginning Cadillac would be your first big move here. Give us a sense of where you're going and where you are in that process.
Sure. Cadillac, from every new vehicle launch forward after Lyriq, will be all electric. That doesn't mean the whole showroom converts overnight. Of course, we just launched the highly successful Escalade, and that's been a home run for us as well. So every one of the vehicles that we do is really, again, the tip of the technology spear. They all have our driver-assisted assistance technology in Super Cruise, where we actually monitor the driver, and it's really the only hands-free driving system in the market today. So we're very proud of that. It's very safe. We've got tons of miles on it, millions of miles on it. And so those are the places that we are going to excel, and Cadillac's going to lead the way. For the electric vehicle piece of it, for GM in total, we're not just converting 1 or 2 plants. These are many plants, the 2 cell plants, and that's the beginning. And then the rest of the regular assembly plants, including Factory Zero, are now going to be converted for this lineup as it comes out. And we'll have 30 electric vehicles here by 2025. The aspiration here is to be completely eliminating tailpipe emissions by 2035, and then the whole company, its facilities, and its vehicles carbon neutral by 2040. So these are big, aggressive goals. It's not just one or two plants or one or two vehicles. It's big scale, and we're doing that to drive our costs for the customer way down that cost curve on cells. And we think we're going to be able to do in a very short time frame, take 60% of that cost out of what the battery packs in the electric vehicle costs.
It's a big move for General Motors, but we're all mindful right now of the problems all the automakers in the United States are having with respect to microchips. Has that given you any pause? Have you had to rethink long-term your supply chains to make sure you can have the technology you need to do what you want to do?
Well, it has, and this is probably the one of the bigger supply chain and supply problems that the industry's ever had. So I don't want to marginalize that or make it seem like it's not. We are doing everything we can to repair that, but it does cause you to step back and take reflection on what we're doing here to create our electric vehicle portfolio and our internal combustion portfolio in all areas, and particularly some of the precious metals that are used when we begin cell production with our proprietary chemistries. But I can say that we've done things like in cobalt, for instance, we are going to reduce the amount of cobalt we use by 70%. A lot of that is around trying to ease the production and the manufacturing and the supply chain of actually making our cells in high volume. So there's a lot of initiatives in place. We've got a great supply and purchasing system. Our suppliers are wonderful. So, it's all hands on deck.
The move to electric vehicles is a big move for General Motors, but there's also a larger issue with respect to climate. As I say, they just started today 2 days of a climate summit convened by President Biden. If you take a look, as I know you have, Mark, at greenhouse gas emissions in the United States, about 28% is from transportation. And of that, 60% of that 28% is from small and medium-sized vehicles. So if we're going to make that cutting greenhouse gas emissions by half by 2030, that means an awful lot of electric vehicles and also a lot of new technology in current internal combustion engine vehicles in order to cut the emissions. Is it doable?
I think it is, and we, again, we made these decisions about 3 years ago. Happy Earth Day, by the way. Yeah. And but this has got to be a vital part. You gave the data on that, David, and you're absolutely true and correct. I don't think there's any one thing that is going to enable one completion of that goal, but I would say it's a huge start. And, I think it's going to create, as you mentioned, in all different areas, sort of a new sustainable economy if it's done right. So that's a very powerful notion that, frankly, all businesses need to get behind and really create a better tomorrow.
At the same time, I talked to Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, earlier today, and I said to him, look, if we stopped making all internal combustion engines today and we're all electric, the fleet normally turns over only every 15 years or so. Is the government needing to step in, and I don't know if you want to call it cash for clunkers, but cash for internal combustion engine cars? Is the government going to really put their thumb on the scale to get this done quickly enough?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I'm not a policymaker, but I can tell you there's some great initiatives that could happen that could speed that conversion and change the car park faster than anybody would have imagined. And those are stimulus around really getting into an electric vehicle, for instance. And there's, like I said, there's lots of different ways to do that, but certainly that would help. And they know it, and they're very much in dialogue with the industry around how to do that so that the conversion is accelerated. So very much working together to do that, which is a great, powerful notion as well when you have federal policy matched with industrial might that we have in this country around transportation.
Finally, Mark, and just briefly here at the end, you're a car guy, as I say, so come back to the Lyriq. What's the range of it? How fast does it go? You've driven it, I know. You love to drive fast cars. When is it going to be available?
It's going to be Q1 of next year. So we're going to begin taking reservations in September, so we get those matched up pretty closely. It's a great vehicle to drive. It's everything that Cadillac should be. It's highly refined, very quiet, very fun though. We've got a lot of fun Cadillacs in the portfolio, and that remains a crucial part of the DNA. But it's also very much a design statement. It's something that evokes passion. And you almost can do anything you want with steering and brakes with electric vehicles. It's going to be one of the only vehicles on the road with sort of a variable regen and also one pedal driving. So there's lots of customizable things that sort of the sky's the limit in what you want to do from a power electronics and control standpoint. So we're looking forward to providing the customer lots of different ways to drive the car, lots of different fun, and all in a beautiful package.